behind this would also, of course, if Q were real,
We're real. I know.
then the people that were behind this, if this were the scenario,
It is.
gave up and didn't do any of the things that Q said that were going to be done. You know, the arresting the people, and said, no, you know what? I'm going to give it to them in exchange. Now, you've heard me talk about who conducts this and who runs this.
Who runs this? Who conducts it? And who knows who everybody is? Is there anybody that thinks by now that Derek doesn't know like exactly how everything's going to turn out day by day? Is there anybody that doesn't get that part? Like, realistically, what's more important right now? Getting views? You know, putting in names of people to try to get views? Or get the attention of who? And continually just talk to who? Whoever's in charge. I'd rather talk to who. Matter of fact, I can basically talk to who with every single video and put it on private. Even though it says there's not one view, but I know who gets to have the first dibs on the view. It would be whoever is the one that created the YouTube platform. Just like the next platform. The next platform coming up, whoever is the one that's able to use the program, like the software, because it's something, that's what AI is about. AI is, I mean, it can help you distribute the plan throughout the entire planet, and it can just happen. It's in the computer systems, and everybody's script is already written day after day after day. All they got to do is come to work and read, and it's already there. Timing, you can record someone's voice, another person's voice. You throw all that into AI, a mixture, and those people don't even have to be there, but it sounds like they're there, and it's on point with even interrupting each other, because that's what gets you to believe that everybody's in the same room at the same time. But can you imagine if it's just like a one-man show? And who's Toto? He didn't seem like a bad guy, the Wizard of Oz. He seemed to kind of like, he seemed like he had a good heart. He was able to get away with tricking everybody. But he couldn't trick Toto. Toto ran over there and opened up the curtain. I know, but then also, I'm not into wasting people's time. Like I was at one point, when I used to get such a hard time with people on my channel. I could never understand why. I do now, but I didn't at the time. I could not understand why somebody would continue to watch your channel, continue to watch your videos, continue to comment, continue. But man, did they not like what you were saying, and they wanted you to do things their way, because that's what they did. They did things their way, and they're like, we got to get Robin to do it our way, because he has a following, and he legitimately gained it on his own. We would know. This whole underground world that you're not supposed to know about, and when you do find out about it, then there's people sent in your direction to try to discredit everything that you're saying and doing, try to discourage your own spirit. And I'm thankful for all of it. I can't say, man, I wish that would have never happened. I wish I would have never got irritated to death by any of yous that work on the inside. I wish I never would continually get irritated today with people from the inside. But I thank God that I continually get this information. It's hard to swallow sometimes, because it does, you know, I'm a human being. I have feelings, and things still tend to make me sick. And that's my own problem. Like, I have to work on immediately getting rid of it, because it's not like you're a judgmental person because something makes you sick immediately. What you have to do is understand that, don't worry, that was just the first initial injected thought, and they usually come from Satan when you get an irritated feeling about something. So you gotta just connect that. Anybody that gets irritated with something, with that thought, stop that thought and evaluate it, and ask yourself, why is that so important for you to be bothered in your life with your own spirit because of what somebody else is saying or doing or not doing or pretending or whatever. The whole world is a stage, and we're just merely players, men and women. The whole world. And to think that you can communicate with the people that are in charge of this world, well, that's just a normal thought pattern of mine that I have day in and day out. When I push record, I always have them in mind all the time. Every one of them that I can think of. Everyone that I think I see behind the screen, in front of the screen, behind the mask, in front of the mask. The changings of voices. I mean, it's a pretty funny thing if you think about it, without the first initial injected thought that I used to get bothered by, because I have to get this under control, which is I'm just watching what's taking place. These events are going to happen. Well, maybe not. Maybe Q decided not to. Because Q is saying, if we were real, we're real, then what we did was we just gave up. We just gave up. But gave up what? Why would you not destroy Iran? Why would you not destroy something? Well, you can ask Jonah how he felt when Nineveh was not destroyed, even though he knew. And then he sat out on the east side of the city, just waiting to see what would happen. And he's pretty pissed off. He wanted to die. And God had to teach him a lesson. That's how it works. You just need to be taught lessons. Just amazed at I'm amazed at what I failed to see my entire life. which is downtown Philadelphia. So anyway, Jonah was pretty mad that the city wasn't destroyed. But it's like he knew as soon as he went to the king repented and all of his people repented. And all Jonah had to, like, think about the power that Jonah has. The ability to get a king and their entire kingdom to repent. But that symbolizes the 144,000. Nineveh goes into judgment with God. Now, because there's a power transfer to Biden, and that also symbolizes what's happening behind the scenes, there's people rising up now, and they're doing exactly the same exact thing that they were doing they're going to do the same exact thing. Hold on. So to be able to have that influence, so he must have known him. Like Jonah must have known the king of Nineveh, and he just went and told him what God told him. But see, he didn't want to do it at first. And I remember doing the same thing. Not that I'm Jonah, but I remember doing the same thing about not really wanting to warn people about God's judgment, with Harold Camping telling people. And so you couldn't see it. Like nothing actually happened that you could see, but everything that happened behind the scenes. And even the agents hired to pretend that that's not true, they're paid to lie. So people are just paid to lie. Knowing the truth and turning from it. Now the same thing's happening here. What was it ever gonna, here's the question, was it ever gonna happen? Or was it always just set up to make it seem like it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen, and it doesn't? Because you could say that things are so obvious that the king of Nineveh just had to say, yeah, I mean, you're right, because, I mean, I know you, and you're telling me now that God told you, and then you're showing me the same thing that God showed you, and then it's kind of like you just can't even deny it, and then it gets to that point where, yeah, let's just do that. Let's go in this direction. The hell with, the other plan, whatever. It sounded good. It was a good plan. It was a good plan like 4 years ago. That's why the most important thing is when you're reading the Bible and looking at the events and how things are ran behind the scenes, your knowledge increases. Knowledge is, if it increases from you having a bad plan, then you want to make sure that you have the best plan in place. 4 years ago, the best plan in place was the best plan that was there. So they put it in place. It's amazing that they're just not cold. They just float. unbothered by the freezing water. The point is, when your knowledge increases, if you're not holding on to the pride and the preconceived ideas and the self-preservations, then if there's a better plan that comes along, you can change your mind. If you're willing to admit that the knowledge that you had just wasn't good enough, and that somebody else could have a better plan, and you can just adapt to that plan. So I don't hold any animosity towards anybody. I'm still allowed to get irritated, and I'll work on that irritation, because the reason being is we all have different opinions on how things should be done, or what people should say or shouldn't say, whether it's the truth, whether it's good, whether it's evil, whether you're judging somebody, whether you're going to put somebody else in harm for your own words, whether people should take responsibility for themselves, because when they sign up, like when you sign up with the account, just like Derek with making that new website, and it's like everything all combined in one, all the social media platforms, when you sign up for it, well, what you see is you're paying for it, especially when you pay for it. YouTube is free as of now, and when you sign up, you still have to sign up, right? You have to be of age. You have to, I don't know, have an email address, and then you sign up. There you go. There's some rules and regulations we don't read, and one of them should be in the new clause of the new development of the social media platform. It should be that everybody holds themselves responsible the moment they sign up, and it's on you with your interpretation of what you see and what you do. And in other words, there's no suing anybody for what they said or what they're doing on their platform. How you take it is how you take it. You're responsible for it because you signed up to be on it. Now I'm walking in this little bridge here, but if one of the floorboards cracked while I'm walking on it, is that my problem? Or is that the problem of the people that made the platform? Because if you're making a platform, you should be able to walk on it freely. Yeah, it should be pretty transparent. That way you don't trip and fall and stumble. So it's like free speech. When is it not appropriate to freely speak? Like derogatory remarks, or hateful threat, that kind of thing. There's a point in time where you got to draw a line. But when you first hop onto the platform, it's a free speech platform. But here comes the fine line. It's what you think is good or evil, when it's exactly the opposite of both. So this is what people are coming out of the woodworks. They're coming up now, and it's time to start doing like the investigation on people and shutting them down and getting rid of them and exposing who is whatever, who's responsible for things. Or if you have high channels and the words you're saying on your channel, you got to hold them responsible. basically doing like open, shut, closed case. Here's the case. Here, let me take on that case. Yep, let me find him guilty. Yep, there he is. He's done. Guilty. Next. Let me move on to the next. But I understand that this was the plan, and I just happen to be doing it a few years before some people are given the task to do it, which means just being ahead. Just being ahead of it and not even a part of it. When you're from the inside, you're a part of it and you have knowledge of it. And you're behind the 8 ball. You're part of it, you have knowledge, you're behind the 8 ball. Not part of it, no knowledge, no promises, in front of the 8 ball. I know the same people that you know. You guys on the inside, I know the same people that you know. You might not even know your actual true boss. I don't know what your boss looks like. I don't even know what your boss truly sounds like. I don't even know if I'm looking at the correct set of eyeballs. So what is it that I'm hearing? What is it that I'm seeing? What is it that I'm connecting with? Who am I talking to? Am I looking for views? Well, I only need one view, and that's push record. There you go. Whatever platform, it does not matter at all. It used to matter to me, not at all. Who am I talking to? Principality of the air. Just speak out into the air. He'll hear you. I don't even need the damn recording device. I could just speak out into the air if I want to talk to the principality of it. I know the names of the YouTube channels that I'm paying attention to, but true faces and voices and eye color and skin tone and female, male, doesn't matter. It's the spirit running everything. The spirit running everything. Hey, what's up, spirit? I'm hanging out with you today. I'm showing you my world from down here, being a part of the world that you created, that you control and run, and you can squash in a second. You can make my life so difficult or really extremely pleasant. But one thing's for sure, spirit, you're going to refine my ass like no other. Refinement. You're going to throw me through that fire because I threw you through it. I threw you through it by knowing and not caring what people think, because who am I talking to? Well, myself and the principality of the air when I speak out loud. Why do you think the principality of the air doesn't even pray out loud? Because that spirit knows. As soon as you do that, you're going to be heard, dummy. I don't talk to myself as if I don't know I'm being watched and listened to and surveilled. I volunteered for that. It's clear as a bell. Because it's as clear as a bell. If there's no ding dong, it's clear. If it's clear as a doorbell, a ding dong, clear as a bell, thou shalt not touch it. The whole thing is just, I appreciate how you tell us Because you are telling us the whole setup, but you just have to interpret it. And that's the problem with people these days, because my interpretation is exactly what I've been saying with the planet runners. It's my interpretation. Whether other people don't believe it's correct interpretation, again, that's probably where I make you sick, and I understand, because the feeling's mutual. I get the same feeling towards y'all sometimes, because I can't believe that you would still lie and hide, and like, you're the rulers of this planet, that even if you don't know the top tier, at least you know who I'm talking about that you work for. And how am I supposed to know that you work for them unless I've been through this trial and error and being thrown through the fire type thing in this lion's den of a YouTube platform? That's the only way I can judge which way people are going, and it's going to be leveled out, and they're going to start over. Here's the playing field right here, and I'm telling you who's in charge of it. I don't know the full details, but whatever I think I know, I'm just going to say it anyway. So who appreciates me talking out loud to myself? Nobody more than the principality of the air, my first viewer. I can do what Justin does, and I can put people's titles in my name and whatever, but it's only hit or miss. And that's if you're looking to get views, looking to get, more money for eventually monetizing it for the things that you're doing. And what you're doing is you believe it's right, because that's your spirit. Your spirit's telling you that's right. My spirit tells me something different. Here's a rock cut out. It's a cool seat. I like this seat, actually. A little cold though. You're up there, aren't you? In that sun. You're up there, aren't you? Why would that thing float around empty? Wouldn't make any sense, right? That would be like the Son of God should be up in that thing. The birth of the Son of God. So I hang out with freaking Satan every day. It's crazy to think of it. Like, I talk to Satan every single day through this device, but I think to my Creator all day long, every day, about everything, and communicate with Satan through this technology, the principality of the air and his minions. And some of his minions know that, and it kind of bothers you. It bothers you. It bothers you because how did I know? And that just, well, you know how I know, and that's why the plan would be to get rid of people that know. Who are God's people? They're the ones that know better. Oh, yeah, that's right. But then, at one point, they don't know better. In the end, they know better. God's people will know better. Even if they're trapped right now in that host body system. So my thing is about, hey Derek, hey Jonathan, and Jonah, hey Adam, Eve, where's that serpent at in the garden? There's 3 people involved, because there's somebody playing the serpent, There's somebody playing Adam and there's somebody playing Eve. Singularly, individually, like the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. There's three individuals playing that certain people know about to be true. And there's no other truth other than that, except for the truth that they have, because they're the ones that are able to surveil everything. So the principality of the air knows the truth. What is he going to do with it? Is he going to hide it? What's the point of hiding it? The best idea would be to teach your people. Just teach your people the same lesson that you learned. It's the same lesson I learned. I just learned it before you did. I learned it by actually going to prison and not having it set up. Like I really did go. I really did commit crimes, and I really was a thief. But I volunteered all my time to these services, so that must make me an American patriot and a general of the Continental Army. So I'm a general of the Continental Army. And I learned my lesson, and I'm still learning it as I'm going. I'm learning how people are not who they are, not who they claim to be. And there's a lot of judgment going on where there's a force, a God of forces that's taken over for now. So am I wasting anybody's time? Well, I would like to think that just the fact that I'm talking specifically to the principality of the air and they know it, doesn't matter what I say. I'm talking to you. This is a conversation. What, you don't want to hang out with me? You've been hanging out with me all my life. You've been leading me astray all my life. I'm trying to just do you a favor in return and lead you stray. Not astray, but lead you straight. So if people get offended, that's on you. I wasn't talking to you anyway. My main view is the first person that's in charge of the planet. And then everybody from that point on, if you want to hear it, you hear it. If not, then it's not. I used to be affected by people's thoughts, even though I don't even know truly what you're thinking. But that was me not even fighting my own worst enemy, just letting them kick my ass. Now I know better, because it frees you up in your world.